I really love Portal, but I'm not the only one who loves the game. It's not hard to see why, as it's one of the most popular games ever made, and most people who have touched video games have either played it or have heard about it. It's grown a cult following, and because of it, in the years it's been out, pretty much everything about it's been talked about. Its gameplay, looks, feels, tone, atmosphere, and so much more. Though this probably has been talked about, I want to talk about a song in Portal, a song that I and many others love. Hey y'all, quick disclaimer before I start. Yes, this video is emo, mostly towards the end, so I'm sorry for that. And since this is my first big upload that I'm putting effort into, feel free to boost my ego by liking or subscribing to the channel. If you do that, I might just make more videos, so do with the information what you will, and enjoy. Backing up a bit, I'll remind the people who've forgotten about Portal what it's all about. This game is called Portal. It begins by you not being able to use portals. Crazy, I know. A robot tells you what to do for the most part, but they feel a bit creepy. It's weird, but for now, you just put a cube on a button and move on. Do that a few times and now you can only use one portal. Solve a few puzzles with one portal, then boom, plot twist, you can use both of them. Then you do that, get to chamber 19, and get cake, happy ending. Then boom, plot twist, you don't get cake. You escape getting burnt to death, destroy the robot that wanted to destroy you, get dragged away, and the story continues. But that's for the sequel. That's probably the most I'll explain the gameplay outside of talking about it in terms of the main topic of the video. Explaining and talking about gameplay is not even close to my forte. Anyways, what I really wanted to talk about is that song I mentioned earlier. It's called Self-Esteem Fund. Now, Self-Esteem Fund is a song composed by the talented Kelly Bailey. Kelly Bailey has worked on other Valve games before Portal, like Half-Life. Now, this could be biased, but I believe that the first Portal is Bailey's finest work. And while the songs in Portal are all amazing in their own right, I really believe that Self-Esteem Fund is the best out of all of them. Now, if I want to talk about Self-Esteem Fund, which I do, the most important thing for me to highlight is the game's approach to atmosphere and tone. This can be seen even in the title screen. Speaking of which, upon booting up the game, it shows you a small room with a smaller cube-like room made of glass inside. The music sounds alien and you can hear small things like the buzzing of the panel or the whirring of the camera. It already shows you up front what a majority of the game's tone will be like. After staring blankly into the screen for about 5 hours, you boot up a new save and are told that the player will be testing. You get to move around the room and now you can see the facility up close. From a distance it can look sterile or clean, but upon closer inspection, the walls show signs of decay. It's a sterile cleanliness that is mixed in with a protruding sense of unease and dirtiness. It feels off. It makes you feel uncomfortable while also alienating you by making it seem that this place is otherworldly. Another thing that plays into the atmosphere is the fact that for the entire game, no other people are seen, only alluded to. Sure, you see lots of robots, but they're far away from being human. It's only you and some scribbles that someone else made. That's it. It makes you feel alone and isolated. You can even see empty room that people are supposed to be in, but no one's there. Only cameras watching your every move. And to top it all off, the sound design is phenomenal. Let me show you what I mean.
Welcome to Test Chamber 4. You're doing quite well.
I think it speaks for itself. In addition to these ambient noises is the music. The music adds to all these elements greatly, almost as if it takes each of their aspects and elevates it. The songs are mostly dark, or at least have a sense of unease to them. They're all robotic, alien, with harsh sounds catching you off guard, like the look of the game. They mostly follow a single melody with little to no instruments supporting them, and if there are other prominent instruments, it's almost like an attack. And finally, they also mix in or sound like they aren't pieces of music, but rather sounds of ambience from the facility itself. With all these elements being incorporated into the songs of the game, it's no wonder why I consider this game to have one of the best soundtracks ever. But that's just one half of the puzzle that is the Portal soundtrack. I mean, having good songs is nothing if you don't use them right. Now, before I get to Self-Esteem Fund, allow me to show you some of the ways other songs are used to get a sense of why Self-Esteem Fund is my personal favorite implementation. So, starting off is subject name here.
Now, subject name here is only played once throughout the game, yet it manages to be different from every other song. Subject name here is a song with traces of subtle joy. It's one of the only songs to have cheery or upbeat message. In fact, it's one of the only things in the entire game to be upbeat or cheery, even if it's just for a small part of one chamber. Where all the other songs contain low-pitched sounds that linger, subject name here contains rapid-fire, high-pitched notes that help contribute to the overall atmosphere of joy. Maintains a short loop, much like the segment that it's in is short-lived as well. Now, you might be asking, well, if the song is sort of upbeat, what's the occasion? Well, this song plays whenever Cho picks up the dual portal device, a big occasion in so many different aspects. In this moment, the player gains full control of portaling and doesn't have to be handheld through chambers anymore. It's a small victory in and of itself because you now have the ability to choose where both portals go, and unbeknownst to you at this time, it unintentionally saves you later on. I love this song because in a game filled with so many tracks that get under your skin, this song fuels whatever hope the player has left to escape this facility. But unfortunately, it doesn't stay forever. Towards the end of your journey, an obvious but still goofy plot twist is revealed, and the music for it could not be more perfect. 4,000 degrees Kelvin plays near the end of the game, at the end of the quote-unquote Chamber 19. GLaDOS claims that the player is almost done with testing and that at the end of it, the player will be rewarded with a cake. Well, everyone knows by now that it's a lie, and indeed it is. At the end of a long platform is a sign of cake. However, when looking to the left, there's a pit of fire that GLaDOS tries stuffing the player into. The song that plays for the sequence is so fitting too. It's an energetic track with sinister vibes, having chorus-like chanting that's introduced at the beginning, and when the synths kick in, it just screams at you, attacking your eardrums. It makes you panic, and when you think it's going to slow down, it then kicks in for a second time but distorted. Good music. I love it for the feeling it gives. The imminent dread of dying in the facility just builds on itself as the player's last hope for a safe escape is absolutely crushed. I love it. Even if it's only used for the scene, it sets the tone perfectly. And this isn't even the best example of a song fitting its environment yet. I've been talking for long enough about other songs, and while they are all beautiful, I think another trumps them all by a mile. Now, it's finally time to talk about it. You've seen the title. It's time for Self-Esteem Fund.
Before I start off by talking about Self-Esteem Fund, let me say that it's more of an experience than music. Obviously that sounds pretentious, but let me explain. Self-Esteem Fund is one of those songs that you just have to listen to understand. This is a song that blends in with the game so well as a mesh of all the different ways it tries to immerse you into its world. It sounds so perfect for this game, yet on its own it sounds just as amazing. It sounds as if it's a product of the facility itself, the notes and instruments used sounding eerily similar to that of the noises you hear in the facility while completing test chambers. It starts off slow with the instruments feeling like they're coming in and out of your ears like whispers. It fluctuates a lot in the beginning third, but soon it begins to have a firm grasp on itself and the notes become long and haunting. It shifts from scattered noises of ambience from the facility to thoughts that overwhelm you and they aren't letting go. After all, you've been here a while. Escape seems impossible. But what else is there to do besides going on and testing, alone? Sometimes, the scariest parts of our lives are when we're alone with our own thoughts, but at the same time the most critical parts are these exact times. This song exemplifies that more than any other piece of media that I've seen. In a game like Portal, this song overwhelms anyone who hears it in the game. Normally the songs are usually at the same volume, but during the middle of Self-Esteem Fund, the song grows louder and louder, becoming overwhelming to anyone listening. It builds up until it's difficult to continue listening to unless you turn off the music or finish the test chamber. The song is only played in 3 chambers in the game, and each of them have segments of having to wait or just have things that make these chambers artificially long. It also helps that in these chambers, they don't act like puzzles so much as they do completing small tasks. I have a feeling the game was designed in this way to let the player's mind be active enough to think a little, but not enough to have anyone's full focus on completing puzzles. And like anyone who's done work or activities like these can tell you, when that happens, you can't help but to think to yourself. It opens the door for thoughts to come through, and because of the dark tone of Self-Esteem fun, maybe those thoughts won't be so nice. This is why it can get under your skin, and easily at that. That's why I love it so much, and why it's my personal favorite out of the Portal soundtrack. It's more of an experience than a song, it's art. The song for me hits in all the right places, and I think it's perfect in doing that. Hey everyone, thanks for watching this far. I hope this video did come out well, as I had to stop myself from scrapping it because of perfectionism. Trust me, while working on this video I've had to stop myself from changing all the little things that I found wrong with it and just releasing the best shape that I could without becoming too obsessed with perfection. However, any constructive criticism would be very much welcome, especially since this is my first video after a really long drought and I want to become better at this. Also, sorry for being too pretentious, for lack of a better word. I just really love Self-Esteem fun in Portal and wanted to talk about something I don't think many have talked about. For now though, I'll try and make new videos, at least whenever I can, but oh well, no promises. I'll plug any social media that I have in the description for some reason, but thanks for watching all, make sure to stay safe out there, and see you next time.